family. Hey, family. Hey, family. This is Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation Show. Boom, boom, boom. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation Show. Welcome. Baltimore City. Welcome. TikTok family. Welcome. Baltimore City. Welcome. TikTok family. Let me say this before I get into this. My heart goes out to Nolan, Wells, and family. I'm not going to go deep into it because I don't actually know what happened. I read up on it a little bit, only just to get a brief understanding about what happened. And I know him, and not just his friends. There was a lot of them that went out to this island. I don't think, excuse me, he didn't know everybody. So from what I'm getting, and I know it, and y'all know it too, it's going to be racially motivated, because that's what we do. A black kid went to a 4th of July gathering with some friends. They left the island without him. So it will make it seem like it was just his friends and him. But actually, if you read up on it a little bit, the island that they went to, right, is normally an island that they go to celebrate each year. I don't know if it's just the 4th or what. I don't know. I just wanted to make sure when I read up on it, was it a beach resort that's connected to regular land? But no, it was an island that they went over to. Okay? Because my thing is, if he was left behind, did he try to swim back home? That's what I was trying to look at. I know a lot of y'all don't care because you want to make it sloppy and very interesting for you to talk about. But before I go all into all of that, I like to get a little bit more information. Because right now, they doing the autopsy. So we don't know what actually happened. That's all they know is he drowned. They pulled him out the water. So for a lot of y'all on TikTok that had your platforms up, you love controversy. You love it. And that goes to show Big Unk. Where your mind is at, where your heart is at, where your spirit is at, where your soul is at. One thing about Big Unk, and I sent the video out, a lot of times before I touch on stuff, I do my own little investigation. So that when I open up my mouth, I have an idea. I kind of know what I'm coming from. Because I'm coming from the same information that AI might give you of the reports that's put in their system. Then I'll go to fact checks. If not fact checkers, I'll go to Snoop. Because they can only give you the information that's being recorded. Basically, data. Now, a lot of times it's it's up to us, I'm sorry, until we actually get the truth from the investigation and all of that of what's going on or what happened, then we can back certain things up completely. And just like with this Carmela thing, did y'all know Carmela wanted to testify? It was the prosecutor that fixed it where he couldn't. The prosecutor would not sign this thing for them to kind of throw evidence in to defend basically everything that Carmela Anthony was talking about. Now that he's been convicted, y'all are seeing the other side of it now. It was a lot of the information that the prosecutor wouldn't agree with because it would have exonerated Carmela. So for a lot of y'all that's in your hearts, that's in your mind, that's in your head, understand this. Anybody in their right mind and rest in peace, Austin, tell you that they got something in their hand and you still gonna go there? You gonna come within reach where they could have, like sliced you? Sorry to hear, you got poked. You walked into that, young man. And for a lot of y'all that want to be blinded, he walked into it. Why would you sit up there? You separated from an individual, right? I'm talking about like apart. And you gonna come with an arm reach? He had to walk into it. Rather he's supposed to have it day or not. So y'all can justify everything else. If your mind is like mine, you understand what it is. He walked into it. I'm talking about Austin Metcalf. And his brother made two statements. He said, Hunter said, I approached him. And I guess from what was happening, right, his brother stepped up to protect his other brother. The boy said it out of his mouth. He stepped up to handle the business. Yeah, but he ain't supposed to do. No, he stepped up to handle the business. So basically, when you justify it, you saying that Carmela should have let him whoop his egg. Come on. He stepped up to the plate. And any of y'all that's trying to justify that, reality is kicking in. Anytime somebody got something in their hand, and if I know I get too close, they could either slice me or poke me. And then I'm going to blame it on them because they actually did it. What's wrong with y'all? That's why we got to better educate our youth. That's why we got to better educate our children to walk away from certain things. That's why we got to educate our grown folks. When you put your hand on somebody, expect the results. When you feel like you got the right to put your hand on somebody. Because some of y'all believe you got that right. And the only reason why I'm saying it like this, because when I was in the streets, I ain't play. You ain't wanted to touch me. You better touch me from a distance. And I had little stuff like that happen to me. I got to catch myself. Because I was getting ready to say, I said all that too. Common sense. And guess what? The prosecutor knew. You watching 6 boys walking over to this one person. He would not let them show that evidence. He would not. I was just reading up on it. I was just reading it. How he would not sign the paper for the agreement for for them to show the information where he would have been dishonorated. And I'm going to tell you what I did. I put in the system. Just Hunter's statement alone. When Hunter said he approached him first, and my brother stood up to handle the business, basically to protect his brother. And look at the lies him and his family and them putting out there. Your son already told y'all what happened. Your son already did 2 interviews and flipped it up. Said they was already under the tent. You see them walking to the tent. So a lot of the stuff that we're seeing was not actually shown. They wouldn't allow it. The prosecutor wouldn't allow it. I just finished reading that up. Do y'all know how that makes somebody like me feel as a human rights advocate? Do y'all know how that makes me feel as a community activist, a community organizer, as a person that fights for people's civil rights, equal rights, and constitutional rights with other organizations? To hear stuff like that? To know how the prosecutor will deliberately create lies to bury you. Deliberately. At any cost. And because you don't have a voice like mine, and you're afraid to speak out, don't judge me. You better look at yourself. And then y'all wonder why stuff is happening to us. Now, I'm on my platform. I'm on my talk show. I'm on my live stream. What you gonna do? And what I have learned in this process, family, I try my best not to call no freaking names. I can talk about the situation, but I have to watch calling names. It's called defamation of character. I learned that as a journalist. I have to watch it. Independent. So when it come to me putting out a report, I had to stop calling out names. Because if somebody want to file a lawsuit against me, they can. For calling out their names. Like I'm talking about like our politicians. And I'm giving, hey, Passion, and I'm giving out misinformation. That's why I have to do my research to make sure when I open up my big mouth, I basically know what I'm talking about and where I'm coming from. And I will argue you down. Not yet. I'm just talking Passion about some of the information that I just read up about the Carmela thing. Not only are they filing debates law against well, they felt like you know his by him not having no black people there. They know what the judge did. They don't want the judge there this time. Basically, they set him up from what they saying. And y'all agree with that bull crap. Read up on it. He got the 35 years. We can't change that right now. It's not going to be changed unless the appeal is approved. You know what, Passion? I know I'm the only one a lot of times that talk about stuff like this because too many people are scared. Passion just said this happens everywhere. I already know that. And she's not lying. That's why I said other people in cities and communities. If you are a Hispanic, you are a Mexican, I know this happened all over. You get me passion? Because I deal with organizations like the Center for Popular Democracy. Look them up. They fight for people's civil rights, equal rights, and constitutional rights. And all of them aren't black. Y'all stuck into that post-traumatic slavery syndrome that's behind me. Look at it. Look at it. You see that? Post-traumatic slave syndrome. Do you see my background? Post-traumatic slave syndrome. It's been passed down generation after generation. I didn't understand a lot of that until I started looking into stuff like this. That's why y'all sit back and go, the YT this and the YT that. Like we the only people exist in this world. You still carry that slave man mentality. We're not, black and white people is not the only people that exist in this world. Oh, the white man this. Oh, the white man that. And you can't even hear yourself. We need to make an island for ourselves. We need to go back home. You go back home. I was born and raised in Baltimore City. The hell I'm going to go? I was born and raised in Baltimore City. Who freaking island I'm going to go to? Then I got to learn that stuff all over again. And then what makes you think I want to be around all black people? Let me stop. Let me stop for TikTok hit me. What makes you think I want to be around all of y'all? We can't even get along together now. We need to create our own land. We need to create our own island. Well, y'all created. I might come by sometimes. Okay? I might come by. Hold on for a minute, family. Held up. All right. My package just came. I just got a message. Mind y'all, do you hear my mouth? Do you hear how I speak? You hear how I talk? That's because I am a warrior. That's because I deal with our politicians. I deal with our lawmakers. And you can't be afraid when it comes to speaking to these type of people. Mainly if you feel like they're wrong or out of order. Years ago, I used to call their names out like Brandon Scott, our police commissioner and all of them. You no good, such and such and such and such and such. I'm the one had to learn over the years to stop doing it, calling their names out. They got a job to do just like we got a job to do. And if you're afraid to step up to the plate, that's your scared tail. That's you. I know the courage and the confidence that it takes to stand up against our lawmakers when they're wrong. I don't care if you are a prosecutor, you're an attorney, you're a judge. Now, being in your courtroom, you got the right. So I have to learn to respect that part. But if we one-on-one like this, I don't give a freak who you is. You're a human being just like me. And that's our problem, because we put people in places that they shouldn't be, like better than us. No. And then people like, why are you yelling? Why are you screaming? It's the way I freaking talk. And if you don't know and you don't understand, stay away from me. I don't need a bunch of cowards around me. Now, let me go here, because I got to get this out so I can send my clips back out. Breaking the cycle. Breaking the cycle. Post-traumatic. For TikTok's sake, I'm going to say K. Varie. What happened? Okay. Listen to what I just said. Because I had to look into something. Because I didn't want my page flagged. What the freak did happen? Oh. I didn't want my page flagged. So for certain things, I had to watch my mouth. If a lot of y'all don't understand what it is, it's breaking that mental, emotional, and spiritual generational curse that's been passed down generation after generation after generation to make you feel like you'll never amount to nothing. You will never be nothing. And a lot of y'all fall deep into it. And then you listen to people that always want to go in the white man this and the white man that. When you hear people talking like that, get away from them, because they stuck. When you hear people going back to Jim Crow, Alfred Hitchcock, and all of that, get away from them. Well, Alfred Hitchcock ain't had nothing to do with this. I'm just talking about the old days. Get away from them. They stuck. Hell, I want to be around somebody for, and that's all they's talking about during the times when we wasn't even born. And then want to sit back. You look at Martin Luther King and them, right? Then you want to call him out his name. Then you want to make Malcolm X look like the strong one. But guess what? One of them preached and taught. The other one was basically on the warrior side, like my big mouth. So I understood the difference in them. But the message was basically the same. For a lot of y'all that don't understand, you got to be in the field. Because I didn't. That's why I can talk the way I talk. Now, post-traumatic. Not only that, family, I was thinking about Marfa 21 Black genocide. I was also thinking about the school to prison pipeline. Now, if you want to know why I'm saying this, these are some of the systems that was put together basically to try to wipe us out as much as they can. I didn't understand a lot of this. But you never do until your eyes are open. That's why when y'all hear me say, once I was blind, but now I see. Once I was lost, but now I'm found. I remember when I used to hear people say, people are passing away like us, perishing for the lack of knowledge. I remember when I used to hear people say stuff like, black people, you need to open up your eyes because you need to see this, you need to see that, because I didn't see that. I couldn't see it. But now I see it and I'm running off in my big mouth. And y'all trying to shut somebody like Big Mouth Steve down. I'm talking about my own black people. I ain't talking about no white man. I'm talking about y'all. Know why I say that? Because I challenge y'all to stand up and you don't like it. But let me finish this right here so I can hurry up and send it back over later when I'm finished. But breaking that cycle, family. And keep in mind, it's all a mind thing. It's all a mind. Mental. And be honest with y'all, I did not really understand a lot of this until 3 years ago when them two polices came together and set me up with those charges and sent me behind them bars. That's when God took me to Genesis to Revelations. And he showed me you're walking in the footsteps, Steve Copeland, of some great men and women of historical time. Y'all read about their stories too, right? He showed me that you're walking in some great footsteps. It's the same way he told Moses to go tell Pharaoh, I said, let my people go. It's the same way he prepared Steve Copeland to go tell your organized religions and your politicians, because they practice the same laws basically to enslave and oppress you, your kings, your rulers, and stuff like that. Now, he had me see that. And through that process, and I gotta watch how I say this, when I read the part where Pharaoh told the midwives, all the firstborn males, what to do with them, and I started seeing the school to prison pipeline. Now I'm sharing with y'all what God revealed to me through the process, putting all this stuff together. And I started understanding the point of him putting them together to share their stories from the Old Testament time to New Testament time, because he prepared me to go back out and do exactly what I'm doing now. And my thing is, a lot of y'all got a calling on your life and you're afraid to go and honor it. So now, to let you know, it starts with the mind. I hope I didn't lose nobody. Because if you don't if you don't educate our young men, what you think gonna happen? I was out on the streets when I was younger. Came out of school in the 9th grade, 10th grade. When I told my lawyer that, he was surprised. And you never been to prison? You never went here? No. I got in the truck driving at 21. What? Wait a minute. You came out of school in the 10th grade and you was able to move forward in life? Yes. That was a white boy. And he was shocked, because the way the system is designed is to keep you down mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and educate. I like to say education to be ignorant, because they don't want you to be educated. But now, look, that's the first step, right? It talks about recognize and be aware. The second, heal the hurt. Third, renew your mind. Renew your mind. That's why the goal with me is to help you change your old ways of thinking and put that new information on it. Build and connect. That's number 4. Walk in purpose. Live your calling. What did I just say out my mouth? Leave a legacy. Rise, lead, and inspire others. What did I just say? What did I just say? And this is the 5th step, what it's telling us, and basically is how to break that slave man mentality. It starts with your mental thinking, your emotional outlook on life. And sometimes when you feel trapped, because guess what? When I first got clean, they told me I had to change my old ways of thinking or I was going to go back to doing the same things that I used to do. But they didn't say it like that. They said, oh, you're going to go back to using. And I got scared because I didn't want to go back to using. So they said, number one, you have to change your old ways of thinking. That was the first step. And what I started looking at in the first step of my life, I thought I had control over my life, but I have lost control over my life. And my life had started becoming very, 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 very unmanageable. So once I admitted my powerlessness, let me say it again. Once I admitted my powerlessness, I gained power because I realized that wasn't working for me. So I had those old things and way of living and doing things in life habit-wise. That's all I'm trying to get to. I had to learn to let them go.
And then...
No, I'm not finished yet, OG. I'm not finished yet. I'm not finished yet. I know you want to talk. I'm not finished yet.
I can shut up today. I can shut up today. I can be quiet.
Did I ask you to shut up and be quiet today? I just said not right now. I was kind of on a roll. I know you might not have felt my roll, but I wanted to get certain things out first. So when I do my little clips, I know where to go back at. And that was basically, I want you to talk about the topic. Post-traumatic, breaking that cycle. You should be able to talk about it. Come on. Talk with me, talk with me, talk with me.
No, go ahead and finish up making your point, brother. I mean, I apologize.
OG. No, OG. OG, I got that topic up. Right? And it is based around recovery as well. So I wanted to get it out first, and then we go into other little areas of communicating. But now, a lot of people don't understand the importance of changing your old ways of thinking, or you're going to continue practicing the same behaviors. But sometimes we got to point out to people, number one, we dealing with people that's been taught a certain thing, way of life. And if you, like your grandparents, your great grandparents, and they passing it down, that's why when I always say this, my mother taught me that men take care of their responsibilities, whatever that meant. At 11 years old, when I talk about the weed, 13, the drinking, 14, the snorting, 15, the pumping. Now, my mother didn't use that. My mother was an alcoholic. But she taught me, because my father wasn't there and no other man was there, how to break that cycle of being responsible, productive, and all of that. So that's why I want people to understand, they fed us what they had. They taught us morals, values, and principles, the good quality of life. Some of us turn around and make the choices to do the opposite. Mainly if you don't have new information on that old information. Then I got to the point where when I say from the age of 11 to 30, I was being responsible, always worked, did what I had to do. But it was the smugs. It was the lifestyle that was starting to take more control of me, because I thought hustling and all of that was the way of life. You could not tell me I was wrong, because that's the environment we grew up in. So that's why I said we have to teach people how to break that cycle, that post-traumatic slavery syndrome that was passed down. Now that it's been broken, 33 years clean. How old was I? 10, 12, when my mother started selling weed to take care of family. You don't hear me talk about that a lot because that was her story. My family started hustling. I started selling the cocoa. My brothers and them was selling the harder stuff. We was well known up in the area we lived in. So everything I'm saying out my mouth come from a lifestyle. Not what I think, not what I feel, not and I'm telling you, because of the destructive side of it, this would made me focus a lot, family, on like post-traumatic slave syndrome, how things was passed down. My grandfather was an alcoholic. Now I don't know if my great grandfather was an alcoholic. I don't know, but I know my uncles and them. But they worked. They was real responsible men and women. I can say that part. But the goal is, excuse me, or the goal was to break that cycle. My children, they never experienced that stuff, seeing their mother and their father doing it. Their mother didn't do what I did anyway. I didn't mess with women that did what I did. So I can say that. I'm the one that did what I did with the smugs and stuff. But now check it out. By the time they was born, thank you, Jesus, I was able to provide a better life for mine. I was able to show them something totally different. And then one day when I was sitting around common sense, I said, oh my God, that generational curse is broken. So now you understand why I talk about that slave mentality. I came out of school in the 10th. Little Steve graduated from school and went to college. My daughters graduated from school and went to college. Do you know how that feel to a man that never actually finished school? And you seeing it with your own two eyes? And then he started his own LLC. Then he started his own housing program to give back. And it wasn't me. Because when I look at that was not my plans. I was a truck driver. That's my profession. Made real good money. I retired at 58. And God said, now you can go ahead and walk in the journey. So I'm letting anybody know. If I can do it, you can do it. Never, ever, 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 ever tell you. Well, let me switch that back up. Never, 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 ever, ever let somebody tell you what you can't do. You got to prove to them you're better than anything they could say out their mouths. And that's what I told my daughter at the time when she was 18. That's the 27-year-old with the 2-year-old. She been on her own since then. She said, I'm going to fix you. I'm going to fix you. She said, I'm going to finish school. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And guess what? She fixed me. And she's living on her own still to this day. And that's all I be trying to tell our people. If anybody try to down you, make you feel like you worthless and hopeless and useless, you prove to them that you are better than anything they can say out their mouths. Because you're proving it to yourself. And this is what the 12 step is all about. When you gain courage and confidence, this is where your ego, for a lot of y'all are like flipping stuff. When your self-esteem is as low as an ant, and then you start having courage and confidence and boldness and standing up and standing firm in the belief system, and then you want to sit back and down somebody because they can stand up. Watch how you talk to people. Because I'll come forward every time. And I'll share my story just to let you know how you can be successful. Because I'm the one you don't want to try to play with when it comes to stuff like that. You don't. You don't. So now it goes back to my topic. Breaking that cycle. How do we break it? Now, OG, and I was reading what they put there. I just wanted to kind of finish certain things so I can do, when I go to do my little clips, I know where to start at, just to post little things back out. And it's educational for me, right? When I say certain things, and it's not to point the fingers, but it's to encourage you, to try to build on you, to help you look at yourself. And I'm only saying this because I did not have somebody in my life to motivate me, empower me, and encourage me, because my mother worked in the beginning to raise 7 children. Then it got to the point it got real expensive for her. Her girlfriend turned her on to the green because her girlfriend was selling pounds, and we started selling pounds. I don't share this story a lot because that's my mother's. I only talk about mine. I don't share my brother's story too much because that was their life. I can only share how things interacted. And when I say certain things, they right there. I just don't call their names. And that's what you do. When I look at my niece, my oldest niece, with 4 daughters, very, very talented daughters. One of her daughters, 17, just graduated going to Towson. One of her daughters, I was gonna say her oldest daughter, is a cosmetologist. She have her own thing. She make wigs and stuff. The other one, she looks like a model. She pops up on here from time to time. But the reason why I'm saying that is I'm so proud of my family. Mainly when I look at where we all, the older ones, started from. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and mute up with that, but it's a certain time frame that I try to get stuff out so that way I can go back and do my little clips and send them out. OG, you want to talk or you want Common Sense to talk?
Common can go ahead first. I'm good for a minute.
Hey, good evening, y'all.
Good evening.
Good evening, Queen.
Hey. Well, you know what? It just comes down to this. When you want to change, you will change. And for a lot of years, our people was ashamed of what they went through. So they never wanted to face the things that happened to them while being prisoners of war. Okay, and so silence can be as bad as talking sometimes, and we have to admit that these things have happened, but we have to take the band-aid off of the shame and the guilt. That's what happened to you. That's not who you are. And a lot of people got caught up in that cycle. So it became a mindset. It became a way of life. It was transferred from one generation to the next generation to the next generation without anybody ever asking the question, why are we doing this? Why is the family like this? Because it showed up in my family in different forms and stuff. Only thing that I can say is I chose to ask that question why, and God led me to the answer. And He showed me. And He showed me. And I realized that one of the things that I realized that how to break. I don't know. If I start talking, I don't know. But one thing that I can say, you have to be willing, like in this sense, recognize what's going on. Be willing to accept the truth. Not the version that's nice and neat. Sometimes the truth is ugly. I mean, it's really ugly. But if you allow the truth to be the truth, it becomes beautiful. Because that's how you heal. You begin to heal the hurt. You begin to wash off the wounds and everything. And then you start to be renewed. You get back to your original self. You tap in to the God that is within you, the God that made you. And then you start to rebuild. And I'm gonna just say this. You build where the foundation is already laid. Don't try to go dig up and make a new foundation. The foundation was already laid. So just start rebuilding on that. And walk in your purpose. Don't ever let somebody else's fears limit your growth and development into who you're supposed to be. And sometimes it means a goodbye and walking away. Because what I realized with the tragedy that hit our community with the loss of that young man, Nolan, I'm going to say this, we got too comfortable with the convenience of what we think it should be compared to what it is. We got this fantasy, and the fantasy is covering up the fear. And so now we see, I realized that, and I realized this a long time ago, one of the things that we take for granted is making it home. How many young men and women left in somebody else's company and didn't make it back home? We take it for granted that our loved ones, when they walk out that door, or even when we walk out that door, that we're going to make it home. So by the grace of God, we get to make it home. But somebody's child didn't make it home. And I'm going to just say this. We have got the comfortability and not the covenant. We got fear, but we not walking in faith. We believe, and if you take the word belief, you see that there's the lie. We believe the lie, but we won't seek the truth. We talk about the injustices, but we won't be, and we won't stand for justice. We won't demand justice. We see the improprieties that continually be done, but yet we won't stand. We become, I'm calling it now, we have the emotional ego outrage, but we won't have the reverence for revolution. And we have to be mindful still in this moment. That man had a mother. That young man had a mother. That young man had siblings. He had grandparents. He has aunts and uncles. He has cousins. He had true friends. We need to stop using the word friends. Those were people he was in proximity of, okay? But those were not his friends. Like the young girl who went away to Africa and quote unquote was supposed to be her fiance. She did not make it home. The young lady who went to Mexico for her birthday, supposed to be among her friends. She didn't make it home. The lady who went, I don't still understand it, but the young lady who went to quote unquote adult sleepover or get together, she did not make it home. We must realize that making home is a blessing and a miracle by God's own hand. It is a privilege to make it home. And we must get out of this mindset. Why are you letting a foreigner tell you who we are as a people? And you won't even trust the God that made you. You go off and believe somebody else, and they got you tearing up your own community, hating who you are. Trust the word. It works. And it could heal every wound. It could break every generational curse. Because every generational curse is not God's made. It's man-made. It's temporary. It only lasts as long as it has lasted because we refuse to break them. We refuse to break them. Number one is because of ego and pride. Number two is shame and guilt. And I'm going to just say this. If anybody's listening, I'm going to encourage everybody. Seek the word. It works. Be willing to stand for truth. Take the blindfold off of the injustice. And be a righteous individual going forth in this world. Choose righteousness above all else. Fame, riches. Choose righteousness.
You know, the reason why I said I didn't want to take it too far, because my son, 98% of his friends are white. And these are kids that he grew up with since he was 5 years old. And I did not want to go into that phase, right? That black and white thing. Because when I look at my son now, he's 23. I know anything can happen to anybody. He has his license now to carry. He's one of the coolest kids you ever want to meet, young man. But I know for a fact anything could happen. At one point, as a black man, I was afraid for my son. Mainly when this white state trooper stopped my son. And he gave him 5 tickets on one. But little Steve said, Dad, he seemed like he was mad about something. I went looking for him. I'm talking about the state trooper. A couple of the parents, fathers, the white men told me, Steve, don't go say nothing to him. We'll talk to him because they are polices. But the thing is, I wanted him to know this is not an ordinary black kid right here. I mean, he's not your typical. One thing I learned throughout my life, and coming from the streets, I ain't scared of a sucker that walks this earth. And a lot of us have a tendency of talking a good freaking game. I'm the one, thank God, that I had to back up. Because I knew where my life was heading. I know where I can go. I know what I could do. And I believe that's why God had me share the things that I do, because of the way he turned my life around. Paul Brookshaw used to be a popo, lease. I call him Steve Father, Daddy number 2. If anything happened to me today or tomorrow, I know Paul got his back. Little Steve and Paul's son, and a lot of them, and I said this on one of my videos, the same kids that played soccer from the age of 5 years old playing soccer now together. Still. So I know stuff happens, family. I do. And my heart went out to the young man because I noticed once I heard about it, just about every platform on TikTok talking about it. And I know it's going to be racially motivated. I said that too. But we won't know until we find out what actually happened. Because of the type of person I am, that's why I asked, was it a regular island that they took a boat to go to? Who else going to ask that? Nobody. Then to find out it's an island that they tend to visit. Not just him and his friends. The society as a whole. You know, they go there to party and have fun, stuff like that. So it's not just the ones he was with. I can go on my head and say this right now. Did somebody else try to, take them down? Because it was a bunch of them. Was they all? Because I'm quite sure he wasn't the only white black kid there. I'm quite sure. Then I put in, was he intoxicated? Because right now we don't know. Did he fall in the water? Did somebody see him fall in the water? And didn't help him? This is where my mind take me. My mind goes straight into solution mode, or asking questions that a lot of people don't care to ask, so that his mother and them can get the right answers. It might not come from me. But then when I read Ben Crump was part, they reached out to Ben Crump and the NAACP. And you just don't reach out to Ben Crump and the NAACP. You don't. Unless it's deeper than what we see right now.
And that's very, very serious that you call him. Very.
Well, this case is this situation is reminding me of the young man, Mr. Johnson, that was in Georgia, that was found deceased in a gym mat.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of law enforcement involved in that case with the two young men. It's kind of like the Carmelo Anthony case. Once again, parents are attached to the justice, what they call the justice system. And
look at this face. Common sense. Keep going, but look at this face. You okay. Get it? You get it? I was reading it. I'm like, you mother rinky. Come on, common sense.
So, excuse me. You got to remember that even back in the 60s, you had the 3 young men going missing in Mississippi. That case was attached to law enforcement as well. So and once again, we're talking about Mississippi. A lot of people have come up missing in Mississippi, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those cases were attached to people who were related or persons who were participating in what we call law enforcement. And this is when you have to put on your legal mind instead of your emotional mind and open up your spiritual eyes. And you alluded to it when you talked about when Pharaoh told the midwives to kill all of
watch that word, watch that word, watch that word. Come on.
To make demise of the male child, okay, of a certain group of people. But we have failed to realize that that decree has been going on since then.
No, let me take you back to something you said, because you know we not as young as we used to be. A lot of people, and I meant to ask you, I know you should be familiar with it. Slavery started like over 6,000 years ago. And you had said something common sense, and I know you Bible. And the point of them doing that, because most of the people were, I'm going to say, low to moderate income people, they needed finances. And they put their butts to work. Or they made them work basically for nothing, because that's all it is. And when I heard you say something a little bit earlier, because I thought it just started with, I'm going to say, Moses and them, right? But you had said something, and it took me all the way back, because I searched up when was slavery actually started, and it talked about something you mentioned. If you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to get back to the word, but it's basically it's been going on, and mainly amongst the low. How can I say it? Let me try to find a word. People that's don't have much or nothing, and that has always been their ways of taking advantage of, I'm gonna say, the marginalized communities.
Well, we have to come to the realization of there's a system that has been in operation before any of us showed up on this planet. Okay?
That's it. That's it.
And this system is still fully operational. Okay? It's fully operational. And we must realize that that's one of the reasons why the covenant is so important to keep. And when I use the covenant, which what I'm saying is that you should always be in covenant with the righteousness of God.
Yes. Yes.
Because the things of this world is not just. The system of this world is not a just system on any level of it, okay? Because this is how the system divides the people.
Yep.
The system divides the people. It reclassifies people. It incarcerates people. When I talk about incarcerate, I'm not only talking about prison, I'm talking about the prison of the mind. People are right now living in emotional incarceration.
Yep.
They don't realize that they're not living in righteousness. They're living in emotional incarceration based upon their ego. Because right now we live in a land, in a system that says everything is okay. Anything that you do is okay. But when you look around, spiritually, you see all of the injustices. And I'm just using this moment. I didn't get emotional. I my heart did a little jump because I only have one son. I have tons of nephews. I'm one of these people that's rare, but as a female, it's more males in my family than it is females. I really appreciate that because I see the difference between female when the males dominate a family versus when women dominate a family. I'ma just say it's more order. It's more order and structure, and it's not all pride and ego. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I don't want to get in that other stuff. But there, we are living in a time when people think that they are not in prison. They are emotionally and mentally and spiritually incarcerated. That's why you can see people who get on platforms and you don't even know these people. You can't even see their faces and stuff. And they cussing each other out, or they're promoting division or something. But what we have to do, those who have went through the fire, continue.
My cousin, you went on mute or something happened. Common sense. My cousin said back in the days we had house ninjas who said they was with you, but would go and tell the Corey, forgive me, bro. I'm just trying to watch my words for TikTok too. That will go and tell the white boss everything you playing. You still got them today.
But you know what? I done came to the realization, Steve. People may want to call me naive, but I realize that, you know what? Maybe they think that's the only way, because they don't see no value in themselves. And I'm a person, I learned this. After coming through cancer, I don't look for no man's validation. You hear what I said? No man's validation. Only thing I look for in my life to be validated is parking. It's parking. And when Jesus said that heaven is within you, you've been taught to look outside of outside. Look towards every other person, and even when it comes to happiness, when it comes to love and all of that stuff, they want you to look out on the outside, but it's on the inside.
Let me
And I'm
say,
gonna just say this: my people perish due to lack of knowledge. And when I say my people, I'm talking about all the people in the world. Every conflict, everything is due to the fact that they got us in this system that has incarcerated our mind, soul, and spirit. And we need to break the chains. And I just want to tell everybody, I want people to start recognizing the patterns. This is a pattern. I'm not going to say anything else, but this is a pattern.
it is.
I want
It
people
is.
to recognize the pattern.
And see, that's the whole point of creating, I'm gonna say, solutions, and they don't like it.
Yes.
They don't like it. That's why on one of my lives, Corey, I said I was gonna I've been stop arguing with our politicians, and I want to make this real, real, real clear. They only create laws, bills, legislation, stuff like that. We are the ones that have to live accordingly. Because if you break them, you're going to go behind the bars. But for what I started seeing is when they create the ones that tends to harm the community, you have to come up with ways and means to help the people be obedient as far as living a more healthier life. When they create the ones that tends to help them still, you have to come up with ways and means to help them, prosper. That's why I did not run for office. Because one thing I begin to understand, I already do the groundwork. Even talking on this show right here. Because it's educational. It's lending my voice. That's one of the reasons I stopped going for our politicians. And I'm trying to make it clear to people, we are the ones with the solutions, not them.
Yes, and plus this, I don't know, I've been thinking about this. We know that this system, and we know the God of this system is money. It's money. And the one thing that people don't want to do is people don't want to stop spending money. But if you stop feeding, I'm gonna just say this. If you don't feed, if you don't feed a human being, they soon do what? They no longer exist. They wither away. If we stop feeding the thing that is consuming us at all levels, then it will wither away. Like you said, we really got the power. Because you know what?
Yeah,
I don't care what they say. The Constitution says we the people
we the people.
who form a perfect union. It didn't say the congressman, it didn't say the president, it didn't say the senator, it didn't say the pope. It said we the people. And it also has this little clause in there that most people don't even know that's in there, because people don't read the Constitution and they only listen to what people tell them that the Constitution says. But I would encourage everybody to read the Constitution, and also read read the amendments and the articles that go with the amendments, and you will find out that maybe there was some trickery going on.
Yeah, yeah.
There's, but um, if we will stop worshiping, because everything. See, oh my God, I'm gonna just say this. When I say it, recognize the patterns. I'm also going to say this. Everything comes down to the one thing that happened, what they call the garden, the fall, what they considered the fall, what they considered the fruit. Everything was about worship. Everything is about worship, even to this day. It's all about who you are going to worship. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm done.
Let me share this in response to what my cousin put right here. They scared we can rule the world if we stick together and pull each other up, but they are blacks backstabbing people in our culture. And I'm gonna say this, Corey. I'm right here near Morgan. I'm in the city. I'm not in the inner city. And I realize the same protection and stuff we have here, we can do it in the inner city. But the point is, and that's why I was shocked when this lady made this statement the other day on TikTok about Baltimore City got 1.2 billion to help rebuild 37,000 houses vacant, rebuild them, right? I said that's not true. And she didn't know why I said that, but I read it up and it's true. She didn't know. When I was at the mayor's budget meeting in 2023, his budget was 4.2 billion. I listened to him talk about everywhere that money was going except for in the inner city. As a person that has the housing program family, the goal is to start rehabbing and revitalizing houses. That's the reason why I looked it up to see was it true. Now, the thing is, they calculating 5 billion over the 15 years from now and reconstructing these houses. But the point is throwing my housing program in there because I work with the homeless population. And the goal is preparing them to get into these low income housing. We fight also against gentrification. See, a lot of y'all don't know. I don't just run off at my mouth, right? I look at the gentrification that they're doing in Baltimore City. I started looking at a lot more black young men start losing their lives. Once again, the system. You got to reduce the population. So you fix it where they take each other down. That's why I say they don't like hearing my mouth. And then mainly, Corey, when you're in the community trying to talk to your own people and trying to make them aware of what is happening amongst us, like Common Sense said. I was called Uncle Ruckus. I'm like, who in the heck is that? I was called Porch Negro. Like you said, Corey, like you said, I was called Porch Igro. I'm like, who in the hell is that? All of this came from my own people. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a community activist. I'm out here fighting for y'all. They labeled Corey me the big mouth boy black dude. I did not know I was considered as the most hated man in Baltimore City, and y'all listening to me in Baltimore City. And I'm fighting for our civil rights, equal rights, and constitutional rights. But I'm with other organizations that really, be honest with you, Corey, something you said, them suckers left me hanging. When them officers came for me, I just knew they had my back. So like Common Sense said, we gotta watch what we call friends. Look, in Common Sense, you might have to watch who you call associate too. Because I realized this one, Common Sense, I don't get paid. I'm not a paid organizer, Corey. I'm not part of that paid system. But the ones that get paid got to be obedient to the laws of the system itself. I mean, even if you're a board member, they have guidelines that you must follow.
Steve, I'm always cooking.
I hear it. I hear it. But look.
Chicken and gravy and smothered cabbage.
I don't want to hear that, and you got me over here, and I just finished eating. I just put me on a couple of sausages. Just to put, no, I had a little bit of rice too, brown rice. Yeah, because I had to watch what I eat, Common Sense. But look, I was kind of laughing because of what my cousin put here, right? Wait a minute, Corey. Look like you wrote something else up here. Help one of us build a business and take that and help someone else start a business. We will be you, Corey. Thank you, Corey. Come on up, Phyllis. Corey, thank you, because that's
Steve,
huh.
Hey Steve, I don't know. I know that most black communities back when we were growing up. Remember when they used to have, black people used to have their own social clubs, street clubs and stuff? Well, people don't even know that a lot of those street clubs and social clubs was used as a way to start businesses. The women, I learned this from my aunts and them. They had a social club called the Paragon, and these were black beauticians, right? And what they would do when they came together, they would play cards and stuff.
Yeah.
But every time they came together, they put $20. Each woman put $20 in an envelope. And so if somebody needed some money, instead of them trying to go to the bank, the money was already there in the community. And a lot of those street clubs and social clubs, they buried people. They helped buy houses, keeping businesses going. You know what? When I say, it dawned on me yesterday. I was talking to my daughter, and I said, "Girl, we don't have to invent the wheel. Our people." The one thing, people had their issues about Martin Luther King, but I'm gonna say this: go back and listen to Martin Luther King. He did a speech called "The Blueprint of Life," and he asked the people, do you have a blueprint for your life? The problem is we forgot that we are the occupants
And you know what? You right, because when you said that common sense, we got the art sociable club here, right? And there's certain other clubs that does things as well. It's just that getting the community. Listen to what we're saying. Getting the still be there. The art sociable club here in Baltimore City, they get funding, and you normally have your neighborhood, the president of the neighborhood association there, and all of them, just to put stuff together. Yeah, Corey, I was trying to invite you up. I screwed up, Corey. I had to back up. I was trying to send you an invite. I'm not real good with that yet, so to invite people up on here to talk. But bring your butt over to TikTok. You can come up. This is my DMX cousin family. This DMX cousin. But look, all of that common sense, all of that, being involved in the community. Uh, I'm trying to think of the ones that's African Pan Am. Am I saying it right? Because they do things in the community, this and that, and that's what I want to make sure I say it right. Valerie. I was gonna say Mama Earth, but I might be saying it wrong. Mother Earth or one of the two. I don't want her to listen to me and say, Steve, you jacked it up again. But she does a lot of work with the the Af what is it? African people, Pan Am, African, something like that, right? And they part of the art sociable club as well. But that's old school common sense. What you mentioned about like the clubs, like the art sociable clubs and stuff like that. That's old school stuff we grew up on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, we know what the issue and the problem is, right?
Yeah.
And we also know that when you go to quote unquote government, that we know that they're going to attach some strings to it, right? Because when you get certain things, then there's some do's and some don'ts, or there's some other things that you got to do in order to continue to receive funding.
Common sense, stop. Because
that's all I'm gonna say. But
that's why I wasn't trying to go.
There's things that we already have in our Rolodex,
right?
In our historical Rolodex, that we can also begin to bring forward to help, and to develop the community. And I'll just say this: we have to be strategically. They make plans, and I'm gonna just say this: everything that we see happening in Baltimore, it happened in Newark, New Jersey before it happened in Baltimore. It happened in Harlem. Okay, there's a report. You can pull it up, Google it. It's called the Monahan Report, and that report is called Benign Neglect. Everything that we say is going on, when you get to the government level, they're going to deny it because they neglected. It was intentional.
You know what? Common sense. What you just said was one of the reasons why I was not Corey. I was not trying to do the 501c3 because I already know how they govern it, right? And I didn't want them in my business, Phyllis. But to be honest with you, I'm looking at, actually, I need that funding. I need the funding for the people.
Listen.
Come on.
I'm gonna just give you a little tidbit.
Right.
Since you got the housing program and everything, okay? And that's under humanitarian, right?
Right. Come on.
Okay.
Look, I apologize, common sense, but you made me realize who I was talking to.
Okay. So that's a humanitarian and community need.
Right.
I think that they always gotta go under the religious standpoint. No, you don't. It's all and you know what? I'm gonna just say this. People don't even know that the FDA, if you got a deep freezer at your house,
3 of them. Come on, common sense.
You got kids on your block, and you got an hour to 2 hours to give out lunches for the summertime, and you can teach math or art class or something. Do you know you can have supplemental income in your house?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help my people out.
Yeah. Everything you said, common sense. And the organizations that you told me.
Enhancing your community by feeding them kids some school lunches, and you could be teaching them etiquette classes. Why giving out the school lunches? All you got to do is have a little picnic table where the kids can eat in your driveway or whatever, and that you can store the stuff, and you can feed the kids, and that's it. And you get paid. And
guess what? Common sense. He didn't reach back out to me, but it's a guy on LinkedIn that wanted to link up with me. Let me put it like that. And he's supposed to have a Zoom meeting today. I checked to see that he sent me everything right. But anyway.
Steve, I think me and you should work together, but you know what?
I don't know. I don't know right now. I don't know. Cause that. Hold up. No, common sense. Hold up. No.
I was in my original state of Ohio. Steve, you probably would have met me already. Baltimore.
But look. But you know, you are, be honest with you, you are a true blessing to me. Because we are on one accord, mainly when it comes to our walk in Christ and the work. And you add value to whatever I say. And that young lady up top, over top of you, she older than me, but she adds value to anytime, because we grew up in the same community together, right? Me and Phyllis and us. And she's part of my board. And I just wanted to say this to her, because it's a guy that reached out to me that wants to do basically what we're doing. But anyway, he was talking about doing a Zoom meeting, Phyllis, with Corey McCray, Senator Corey McCray. I was waiting for him. So I didn't receive nothing to connect with them. I said, okay. Because you know how people talk. But the thing is, you know, I hear what you say. Not you, common sense. I'm just saying in the work that we do. I hear what you say, but it's more like watching what you do. And Phyllis already know, because I told Phyllis about how I was called about the building again. And Phyllis was like, nope, we're going to leave it alone. I'm like, okay. But look, and she got me like, right, that's what she said. So. And plus,
you got to always remember this. You know what?
Even help you.
You always got to remember.
Hey, OG, where you at, OG?
I'm thinking we might need the FBI and everybody down there.
It's always going to be in the grass, Steve.
Yeah.
I'm in Michigan.
I'm thinking, look.
I see you up here.
Oh, you didn't? No, he let you up. He brought you up.
Is
T,
this him
request
down about
up.
say
T.
DT?
Huh?
Is this him down about say DT?
Yeah, he changed his prompt.
Oh, you changed now. Okay, that's why when he said something, I knew it was him.
No, I just changed my
Deep
profile
voice.
picture. I just changed my profile picture.
See, look, this what I was trying to, OG, this what I was trying to get to. I wanted to get certain things out because I knew we was going to go in another area. So that way, that'll be out. I can do about 2-3 clips of what I was sharing a little bit about earlier. Then I can go into some over here that I'll send over to YouTube and all of that. You get it? That's why I wanted to finish this episode, close it out, and come on. So next time you should have read my mind. OG.
I'm not a mind reader, brother.
Whatever. You supposed to be mine.
And then sometimes, well, which I understand. I mean, you like to get that little half hour in before you.
Thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Invites.
Thank you.
I understand that.
Thank you.
I understand it.
Because I know once you come up, we're going to go.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, my name is up here too, bro. So, I mean,
OG.
I gotta be up here.
OG.
You mean the half of one? You mean the half of one? I'll take the half of it.
OG was down there in Philly. OG was like, oh, you ain't going to bring me up. I'm like to myself, let me get this out first. Let me get this out first. So I just wanted him to catch it. He got it now. He got it. Because once OG come up, I'm telling you. Once OG come, attention.
Nah.
Whatever.
I mean, but when you're passionate about something and this, that, and the other, you do what is necessary. So that's all that is to me. I'm doing what's necessary for myself.
Woo! You know what? Corey, I don't know if you still over here, but I'm gonna have to end this, bro. My battery done ran dead. I mean, it's running low on my.
What are you on Facebook or something?
No, I'm streaming on 2 different. Yeah, he's on Facebook. He's on Facebook responding to me, and then because I got.
You say Corey, and I ain't seen no Corey.
No. I'm live streaming to 6 other platforms. TikTok is 7. Okay. And he's somewhere else. And see, when they if somebody want to send me a message from YouTube, I could read it because I had to fix it where it'll come up from YouTube, Twitch. If they want to send me a message back, like to ask a question or something, and I'll read it back off to y'all.
You said Twitch?
Yeah. I'm on.
That's another app?
Yeah, you don't know about Twitch?
No, I ain't never heard of that one before.
You don't know.
I sent you all that technology, Steve.
You old.
All them different apps.
I'm on Vimeo. I heard
of that.
Hell, I'm on Discord too.
I got Discord. I got Discord. I told y'all I got around about 14 social media pages.
I never heard of that one either. Discord?
Yeah. Look.
That's new to me.
Look.
You know what? I am going to sleep like a baby tonight, brother.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Is it what I think it is?
Huh?
Is it what I think it is?
No, dude. I after I stayed up all night. I mean, all night.
When you said that, right, I thought maybe you took something to help you be comfortable.
Oh, I did.
That's why I said it.
Oh, I did. I took my trazodone. You know I did.
Steve.
Huh?
I sent you a picture of my cousin, Niecy. Remember my cousin Niecy?
Yeah.
And her younger sister passed. So I sent you the arrangements and stuff to see if you remember her. It's on your Steve Copeland page.
Niecy passed?
I didn't say Niecy. I said Niecy youngest sister.
I heard. What's her youngest sister name?
Janet.
That was the one I think I was talking to that day. Remember I told you when I walked through that way?
Y'all have a good
She tall, dark skin.
I think this.
Probably was her.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to say I think this was her younger sister because she was telling me how.
She was walking with a cane.
She had a no. She was sitting on the steps. How she used to have a crush on my brother, Yodi.
Oh,
when they was in school.
Right,
yeah. Yeah. Wow. What was she sick?
Yeah.
Wow.
She just turned 59 in April.
Yeah. Yeah, that was. I think that's her, cause Yodi 5 years
when
younger
you go
than
on
me.
your page, just look at her picture. Just make it bigger, and you can see who it is.
All right, I got you.
Pictures on there.
Did she have any children?
5.
Whoop. She was still living in the house her mother was in, right?
No. She was
Okay.
with her husband.
Okay. All right. So the one that was sitting on the steps might have been, I don't know. But okay, I got you.
Cause she was always up by my house. My aunt house. All her daughters be up there. Oh, you might be talking about Brenda, brown skinned.
No, I think it was the one.
It was Janet.
Yep. I think it was that one because I keep looking at her as the youngest one. Unless it was somebody younger than her. Yeah. Ooh. But yeah, I wanted to tell, even though we look at what's happening around in other cities and everything, family, I'm in Baltimore City. So my biggest thing is us, steady taking out us. So I understand people want to take things and make it racial, you know what I mean? But then I look at us as far as taking out us.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Corey, I see your I'm gonna get ready to end this because this is on 7%. I didn't know I gotta look at my time frame.
So you don't charge your phone at nighttime?
Yeah, I thought I had it on the charger. I don't know what happened. I thought